Hi guys, Corporal Fleer here, and this video is all gonna be about the new event mode that's been up during the weekend. The bonus event Attention Simulator mode, where you play tanks or planes. And the most striking thing about this new mode is explained right here. This is a test in absolute simulator mode. There are no markers, no HUD interfaces. Be careful and don't shoot your allies. So what we're gonna see is a selection of clips that I've been recording when I've been playing this event. We're gonna see some action in the Pascalwagen 4 Ausführung H, as well as some action in the T-34-85 mostly, and some action in the Su-85M as well. So enjoy, people. So we jump straight into action, and as you can see here, I am alone if you look at the minimap, and that means that you can't see your teammates. So you have to rely on communication only in order to figure out where your friends are and where the enemy is. And this can be tricky. And it's definitely giving me a different feel about simulator battles than I've been having before. As you can see here, I can spot tigers in the distance, and I can't resist the urge to have a go at them. Although I know before I even shoot that I have a very slim chance of hitting any of those tanks. And those tanks were actually player controlled, but they don't show on the minimap, they don't pop up, just like this tank right here at 12 o'clock. That's a tiger, and I have just spotted him, and while he hasn't spotted me, that did cost him his life. So I was the first one to spot him, so I could take a shot at this side and I knocked the tank out. This is the most striking point about this new mode. You don't get any free spots. You have to do all the spotting yourself. You can't rely on the minimap for anything else than directions and to know where the cap zones are and where to go and where you are on the map. So that's pretty sweet. I like that a lot. It's a very welcome change to this game. And since I've been playing tank simulators before, I kinda like this change, and I'm very used to spotting for myself. This will be tricky for other players, newcomers to this game, because you need to study the profile of every tank in the game, and you need to know how a T-34 looks like from the front, from the side, or for that matter, what the visual difference is between a Panther or a Cane Tiger if you face them frontally head on. That will either save your life or kill you if you don't know the difference and you're in a tank that might be able to knock out a Panther while it will not have a chance against the King Tiger. So while I've been talking, I've been moving up into the town here on the map Poland, and I know that we're capping the northernmost cap point in the town, and that the Germans have been capping the middle point in the town. So I suspect that there might be a tank coming up here shortly, up this road pretty soon. I can see that it's a tiger, and I gave him side shot at the ammo rack, and luckily I hit it and he was gone, just like that. Here's what I've been talking about spotting tanks. What I saw there was a square looking tank, and I could see right away that it was either a Panzer IV or a Panzer III, and that I could easily take my time and try to knock him out. Had that been a Tiger, the safest thing would have been to back away from the engagement, maybe shoot 1 or 2 rounds and then try to move around the building. But now, when I know that I have the upper hand in this engagement, I can safely take my time and try to knock him out. Whoops, all of a sudden there's a tiger. Hello. So I put a shot into the side of him, he answered stop fire, and he jams my turret. I tried to still hit his ammo rack in the side. When I saw that I couldn't knock him out, I just reversed and try to disengage from the engagement because I had no chance there, and I would easily have been killed by that tiger hadn't we just lost the game right there. Another thing that I really like about this experimental game mode is the way that you're actually forced to work with your team. Like here, I am going down to the south. I have to tell my team that I'm actually going to secure, or to try to go down south to secure that flank. That way my team can rest assured that there is someone overlooking the situation on the southern flank. So they can spend their energy doing something else than having to look to the right every now and then to see if there's a tank coming up or not on their flank. So this is something completely new in this game, I think. I haven't really had all that many games before where there was a strong sense of teamwork going on. But in these games, I'm not saying that there is teamwork in every game, but in a lot of the games I've been playing today, there has been a vast amount of communication happening between the teammates in my team, and that's something that is completely new for me. This change in the game mode is actually a step in the right direction to forcing people to play as a team and to interact with one another instead of just going off like a one-man army hero. And there's also a problem with this I have noticed, and that is when, for example, people who choose every server when they queue up for a game, who's from, let's say, Southeast Asia and don't know English, or if they're, for example, Russian and they're writing in the Cyrillic alphabet, they can't really interact with the people from EU or the English speaker players. I've encountered that problem in, I think, one game where people have been trying to interact with us and we couldn't really understand them, so that's a problem. Another funny thing that you might have noticed during the last minute of gameplay or so is that, like you see here, the tank that have been knocked out, that didn't really burn up, remains on the battlefield. So that kind of provides a problem for people that just showed up, like the T-34-85 here to my right. He couldn't tell whether that Panther was dead or not. He just saw the front of the tank and yeah, he took a punt at him just to be sure. That gives a greater sense of realism to the game, in my opinion, and I really like it. I think tanks should stay in the game until the end of the match, or until they burn up and explodes. Another positive thing about the fact that enemy tanks doesn't show up on your minimap is the fact that you can actually use camouflage in the game, and you can use ground cover for just that cover. In that way you can actually ambush tanks like I'm doing here with this Panther. He had no idea that I'm here, but I have seen him moving over the field in the open and I get the line of fire on him, and I'm able to fire a few shots at him even though I didn't kill him. It's the little things like that that makes this game mode much more enjoyable than the average simulator battle ground forces game. And don't even let me get started on the fact that you actually have air support as well that you can call down if you point out where enemy tanks are in the chat, and that's also great because there's a lot of simulator battle pilots that are awesome who are playing this event at the moment. And even though I'm not a hardcore simulator battle pilot, I can definitely see the benefits from not having to take off and travel long distances to a battlefield before you get the chance to go into a dogfight like in this game. So here you get the chance to spawn either from the airfield or from the air, and that's kind of nice. And here's another example of how I was able to respond to the chat. People said that there was a Tiger 1 incoming from the south around the castle. So since I didn't really have anything to do, and I don't see any other tank on my minimap, there's nothing that might be occupying me, and there's nothing hindering me to take the step and to help my team and to answer the call and to go to the southern flank and engage the tiger. So just small little details like that that makes this game mode a lot better than the average SB game mode. And I really like this game mode, and I hope it will stay in the game in one form or another. Whether it will be in a separate event mode every day, different maps with different armies, or it will totally replace the old simulator ground forces battle mode, I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really care. I just want this mode in the game, and I want more people to be able to play their tanks like this, because this is more or less how tanks are supposed to be in a MMO setting, or a MMO simulator setting. Up until now, I've been feeling like simulator battle ground forces have been a little bit too arcadey for my taste. And since I think that it's a bit arcadey, I can't really switch over to realistic battle or something else to get more enjoyment out of the game, because arcade is a bit too twitchy for me, and realistic battle is just weird in all ways. The fact that you get markers even if a tank is behind bushes and so on. It's just weird for me, and I don't like it. This mode has been the best one so far, and even though it has some room for improvement, it's definitely the best edition of simulator battles that I've played so far in War Thunder. So please, Guyan, let this stay. You would do the whole simulator battle community a big service, or at least a community that plays tanks a lot. So what room for improvement is there in this mode? I have a few points on how you could change this game into a more easy to understand and more immersive experience. My first point of criticism on this game mode has actually already been addressed, so I'm just gonna point it out for you, and you don't need to spend any energy on that whatsoever, since it's already been fixed. But that was the problem I had yesterday when I was playing together with a friend, and we were platooned up, and I couldn't find him on the map. I couldn't see him on the map anywhere, so we had to describe our camos and what kind of decals we had and where we were to find each other. And that was a bit of a bummer, but it didn't really annoy us a lot, since we could actually find each other quite easily in the end. As I said, they fixed that in a patch today, just a few hours ago. But what it did was that it made me start thinking about platoons in the game and your teammates on the team, and why you couldn't see them on the map. And in a different game that I played about 15 years ago, it's called Panzer Elite, you had a big map, locations of different platoons pointed out with green circles or something like that on the map. So you could always see where your platoons in your company were, which ways they were last known to be at. So if they got knocked out and you lost contact, you got a small blue circle, and it would say something like Sug Falke, and that would mean platoon Falke. And that could actually be implemented in this game as well, or something similar to what's already been in the game up until now. That fact that you get a set platoon for yourself when you enter a game, so that everyone gets the chance to reap the benefits of all the bonuses that platoons get. So you can actually put that in this game mode and force people to be part of a platoon, and that those platoon tanks would pop up on your HUD or your little minimap, and you would see where your platoon mates would be. That would be a cool addition, I think. I'm not saying you should see every platoon on your team, but perhaps just your platoon mates that you've been put together with. I haven't had the chance to try out the game since the patch, so perhaps this is already implemented in the game. I don't know, but if it is, I will let you know in an annotation in the video. So more to come about that, but I think that would be a great addition to this game mode. My second point of critique on this game mode would be that the rewards you get for playing are quite low, because it takes a lot longer to finish a game in this game mode, and people are more cautious than in other game modes when they play, and they take their time to go on about things. And you don't really see all that much action in this game mode. And I think the most kills I've ever had in a game was 4, and that was with the SU-152, and that netted me about 4000 RP. So they're still using the old SB modifiers for the rewards, and I would like to see a higher reward for playing this game mode, because you don't make a lot of profit from playing it and it takes a long time. So you spend a lot of time playing and you gain almost no Lions and XP or RP for your efforts. I think they should increase the awards by at least, let's say, 10% or something like 10%, maybe 5. Just increase the awards a little bit more, and that would make this game mode a bit more profitable to play. And I think that more people will come to it as well. Another thing that annoys me a little bit, although it's very minor, is the manual gear shifting. And good luck with shifting gear if you don't know which gear you're in and which gear you're shifting to as a tank. Since you don't have any HUD, you can't see which gear you're shifting to. So that's kind of crazy. And that also goes for the planes. And you have all the gauges and switches in the cockpit, but if you don't have a HUD, you don't see at what percentage your throttle is set to. And if you're a seasoned veteran, you will hear whether you have WEP or not engaged. But there's nothing to tell you that you have war emergency power engaged. So you might forget about that you have WEP engaged, and then you'll burn your engine without knowing it. So that's a minor thing that I would like them to change. I don't know how to change it. Maybe you could put some figures and some numbers in the HUD in the game mode and leave the rest out. I don't know. Perhaps, or perhaps not. We'll see what they decide to do about the HUD in the future. Oh yeah, I also don't like the fact that if you get knocked out in your tank and you've spent your 2 respawns, let's say you're in a medium tank and you got knocked out for the second time, and you're a bit angry and you want to take revenge on, let's say, that tiger in that crossing that was holding the middle of the town, you're perfectly free to respawn in your IL-2 and just fly in and bomb the crap out of that tiger about 40 seconds or 1 minute later in the game. And that's the kind of thing that annoyed a lot of people in simulator battles, and they didn't think that sim battles should have a thing like that, that kind of revenge bombing, and I agree with them. I think that if you enter the event as a tanker, you should have your 2 tank spawns only, and then you shouldn't be able to to spawn as an attack aircraft or a bomber or a fighter for that matter, you should be limited to your tank and nothing else. The last thing that we're going to talk about that I would like to see in the game before we end the video, because the video is getting quite long, is that I would like to see maybe not the fully modeled out commander, but would appreciate it if there was a possibility to use the commander through the commander's cupola as a spotter. Like it is at the moment, it's just like in sim battles, you need to turn the turret around in order to be able to zoom in when you're spotting tanks. And when they took away all the information on the minimap where the enemy was, this has been more apparent than ever that we actually need a commander with binoculars in the game. And that was also a thing that a lot of tankers had. I think a lot of people would appreciate that if there was a commander with binoculars in the game that you could use, especially in simulator battles. So, as a conclusion, I really like the new mode. I think this mode should replace the old simulator battle mode, because that mode was nothing but a harder version of realistic battles. This sim mode without the HUD reminds me a bit of what I thought that simulator battles with tanks would be. When the tanks would reach open beta 1 year ago, I thought we were going to have tank battles on the existing realistic battle maps that are in the game. I thought they would change the maps so that they would fit tanks. I thought we would have to navigate through larger distances in simulator battles and only every now and then fight other tank formations, let's say platoons and such. What the game has turned into is something completely different from what I thought the game would be. But perhaps we're taking steps now in the right direction to the vision that I had about simulator battles, and hopefully that's a vision that's more or less the same that Gaijin has with the World War mode or the Combined Arms. So, as the video is coming to a close here, I would like to thank you all for watching, and we're gonna end the video with this last bit of footage that I recorded when I was trying out the tiger in this mode. With 3 tigers here lurking about in this piece of forest or in the woods here, and I could see that there was some kind of fire coming from that castle. So I reported it to my teammates and I moved up a little bit, and it kind of hit me that, wait, I can do this. Yep, Mr. IS-1, you can't hide behind a rock. The Tiger's 88 will hit you anyway. Yeah, so that was probably the best shot I took yesterday. Thank you all for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys around.